wanted to share my lettering journey with you for a very, 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 very long time. So, if you're watching this, grab your coffee. This might be kind of long. I might be sitting here the whole time, but I hope you enjoy listening, and let's jump right in. In true Emma fashion, I have my all of my notes, yeah, on scratch paper. So I might have these going on over here, but yeah, let's jump right in. I have always been artsy my entire life, love creating, all of that. Fast forward real quick to high school. In 2014, I was starting my senior year of high school, and that is really when the hand lettering craze all began. Pinterest probably came out a few years prior, I don't totally know, but Instagram I think came out when I was in high school as well. So, social media is relatively new, all of that. Okay, so Pinterest is huge. Somehow I stumbled on hand lettering. I don't even know. I've always loved cursive, but I must have been on Pinterest and seeing all these cute chalkboard art and just artwork on paper, and I was like, this is so cool, love cursive. It just started doodling. So throughout my entire life, if I have paper and a pen nearby, I will be doodling. It's not a good combination, especially all of my classes and all of that. As a senior in high school, as I'm going through my classes, I had a really easy schedule. I'm doodling, and basically how I started was I would find something on Pinterest and I would take paper and I would literally copy it, but I wouldn't sell it. I would just copy it for fun to work on my skills, right? I didn't have my own style then. I was just practicing and doodling and having fun and trying to channel a creative outlet. Almost went to college for teaching, decided against it, switched gears to a design program. I wasn't very fond on the idea of college. And someone told me, if you're gonna go to college, you might as well have fun. I was like, oh, true. So with that, switched to a design program. Technically, the program is called Graphic Information Technology, and it's at the Polytechnic campus at ASU, Arizona State University, and I loved that program. But I wasn't super fond of it right away. The program classes were really fun, but then I had to take all the general classes, which is not fun. So started college in 2015. Okay, so August, September. And then around that time, the summer prior, I'm drawing a lot. I was sitting, I remember naming my business because I was and the thing is, hold on, it was not even a business yet, really. I literally would doodle and people would ask me to draw stuff, friends and family, and never made money. It's just super basic, but I was I want to name this something. I have a very entrepreneurial spirit. I was well, if I'm gonna go, we need a name, we need a business name. So I remember sitting in a Jiffy Lube, Googling things that started with E that could go with my name, Emma. So I was I don't know, I went through a whole list. I was etchings by Emma, and I was oh, and even though I wasn't etching, I still felt it worked because it was writing and all that. So decided on the name Etchings by Emma. From when I made my name, I made an Instagram. So that was really fun. So my Instagram account started in September of 2015. I literally just posted doodles. I actually even found my very first sketchbook from when I was in college, and would literally just draw. And while it's cringy now, I'm it actually is really cool to look back on. So I literally would just take quotes on Pinterest and write and draw and then post them on Instagram. I think this is my very first Instagram post. So I would probably not suggest you scroll all the way back. However, they are all still there. Created my Instagram, went through college, went through the motions. At the time, I had 2 nanny jobs. That's I've only had ever nannied up until that point, which I loved, and I had no other interest. And so helped pay for school, all that, chugging along. I'm loving lettering. I'm incorporating it into school projects. Come 2016, I buy the iPad Pro. It's the summer. I decide I want to start digitizing my writing, so I bought the iPad Pro. I think it might have been cost $600-700, which was so painful at the time. It definitely helped, because before that I would say this, and I would take a photo of it and scan it into the computer, and then take it into Adobe products and all digitize it, and actually got to just draw, and it was immediately digitized. So that was huge. And with that, I decided to make an Etsy shop. I was like, wow, this is so fun. I can make wallpapers and invitations and everything's just digital. So I created an Etsy shop in the summer of 2016. I think maybe only some family members bought from it or something. That was awesome to get my name out there. And around that time as well, I would make like friends save the dates and other invitations and stuff like that. I only sold a few things, kept focusing on school, kept focusing on my other jobs. Like halfway through college, I'm like, what am I gonna do when I graduate? You know, you always think about that. And I was like, I could go do a graphic design desk job. I could still be a nanny. I could technically, honestly, all I really ever wanted to be was a mom, but I knew that I wasn't gonna do that right away. So I needed like some career sort of thing. Summers came, semesters came and went, all that started, and one project that was really fun in school that used my lettering was my coffee shop book, and I have it right here, so I'm going to share it with you. So I actually was in a book design class in my program, and we got to I took all these photos as well, but also incorporated my lettering, and then I made coffee please shirts, and lettering was just such a huge part of my life, and I just would not stop. I was obsessed. But this book was really fun. I even had a jacket, and basically, oh, there's me. Talked about each coffee shop, so I went to 10 local coffee shops and wrote about them and interviewed the people. So it was very fun. My old last name, all the things. Very fun book, and just stuff like this really made me realize how much I love lettering, and I was like, I want to keep doing this. So I decided to think, where does my lettering belong? Where do I fit in? I was like, my brothers don't really care when I design something cutesy and girly. So I was like, oh, wedding industry. And at the time I was dating my now husband for a couple of years. You know, you have wedding on the brain. So I think that was just all a compilation of all that. And I was like, oh, wedding industry. So Instagram was popping at that time. I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna look for a ton of local wedding professionals on Instagram and talk to them. So that's what I did, and I feel like DMing was a lot different back then. This was 4 years ago, maybe. And so I just found so many decor companies and floral companies and design, just every wedding industry account, and message them. It's like, hi, you know, trying to put my name out there, trying to just do free work to get noticed. So I'd be like, hi, is there anything I can do for you for your signs? Or not even signs, but just any lettering that you would need. I would love to do it for free. So I reached out to probably DM'd 40 companies. 2 people responded. One was Lace in a Barn, and the other was Melissa from Malou Events. So both of those companies took a chance on me, and I am forever grateful for them. Lace in a Barn is a floral and decor company in Gilbert. One time, it was basically an interview. They had me over there so we have one of the people here doing our signs, but she doesn't love it, so we'd love to pass it on to you and pay you for it. And I was like, what? I just was trying to get my name out there, but okay. So I started that in 2017 in September for their wedding season, and it was so much fun. They do so much work with the Paseo, which is out in Apache Junction. If you're in the wedding industry, you know about the Paseo, and so that was an amazing way for me to get connected with them. So here I am networking. During that time, I just did a lot of free work, besides Lace and Barn. I got paid from them, but I would do a lot of styled shoots, which are basically a bunch of other creatives getting together, putting all their talents together and kind of donating things so that you make something very pretty, so that photographers can take photos of it, and then you get photos of your work for free. So a trade-off sort of deal. So I was doing all that kind of stuff. I had a big chalkboard gig with a branding company called the Blogettes at the time. I went and wrote on their big chalkboard, and that was really cool for me. So I'm doing all that. I remember vividly leaving Lace in a Barn and being going back to my car, getting my check maybe for $80 because I wrote 160 names on a seating chart, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally getting paid to do this. I'm making way more than my nanny jobs in an hour, and it's so much fun. I was like, how can I keep doing more of this? I was like, I don't want this to stop. So fast forward a bit, 2018, I connected with a company called Borrowed from a Bride. They reached out to me because they found me on Instagram and said, hey, we would love for you to come write on items for our grand opening in Scottsdale. And I was like, okay. So little hint, Borrowed from a Bride is now the Details duo. So in 2018, I did a bunch of stuff for them, and they pivoted into wedding signs as well. So I would be going to details to a bar from a bride, writing on their signs, just like I did for Lace in a Barn. And I'm like doing that and my 2 nanny jobs in school. And it was crazy, but it was so much fun because I was like, this is so creative, so much fun, and exactly where I see like everything going. So I'm just, doing signs, getting through school. Honestly, I just need to graduate and be done and move on. The summer before I graduated, I was like, I probably should try a graphic design job because I don't know, like I just think I'm not gonna like sitting at a desk. Well, I did. I created like things like this, just like brochures, and they'd print them, and was on as like an intern at a local small print company. And while it was fun, I did not see myself sitting at a desk all day. Didn't really get to extend my creativity, didn't get to use my lettering at all. And so I was like, not loving this. That summer with my internship, I also got engaged. December of 2018, I graduated from ASU with my bachelor's in graphic information technology, and I was so happy to be done with college. I had so much fun in my program classes the last year, just very like designy and practical and like creative, but I was like ready to be done with college. Done with the homework. I was like, okay, I just need like a little job until we get married, because we're gonna get married in June of 2019. So it had been like graduated and I had 6 more months until I was gonna get married. So Lace in a Barn, I worked a few more hours with them. I did their floral, which was so much fun. If I could ever do anything again like that, would be floral. And then I decided that I was gonna really try and grow my business. So I did the floral and decor, went and set up at the Paseo, worked down at the Paseo, did all that, and grew my sign business. Lace in a Barn was amazing and would let me like work with a bunch of other people and take my own clients, and they would even refer just people directly to me. So that really helped, and being on the Paseo's Instagram a lot really helped me to gain all of their couples and more like eyes. So I believe that was like very pivotal as well. June 27th, 2019, get married. My husband Matt gets his full-time job in accounting. And I'm like, okay, well, I really, really, really want to keep trying to grow my business. Like, I really just want to get full-time. Like, how cool would it be just to be full-time? So I was like, I'm gonna nanny for a little bit. I'm just gonna get 2 nanny jobs to like kind of like have my padding, and then I'll grow my business. So that's what I did. So it's the end of 2019, like have my 2 nanny jobs, I'm growing my business. I probably have like between Lace in a Barn, Borrowed from a Bride, and my own couples, I probably had like a very decent amount of weddings. I was definitely, even though my nanny jobs are part-time, I was definitely working like over full-time. So that was very cool. And then the beginning of 2020, I was like, oh my gosh, spring is just gonna be the biggest season yet. Like, this is crazy. I have so many people booked. Oh my gosh, I don't think I have time for 2 nanny jobs. So I quit one in February. And in March is when COVID happened, which was like so scary for so many reasons, but also so terrible because being in the wedding industry, you're like, oh, people are never gonna stop getting married. And all of a sudden they just like stopped. Like, I had like so many weddings planned for like this 3rd week in March, and they were like, oh, we're postponing, we're canceling, back when like no one knew what was going on. So I was like, oh my gosh, well, I only have 1 nanny job, but the boys need help homeschooling, and since they're not going to school, I'll work more for them and keep on growing my business. So that's what I did from March until September of 2020. I nannied, taught the boys school, and then I was still growing my business, and things looked like they were gonna bounce back. Like, especially that fall, we would be like, I booked a lot. People were like, we're just gonna get married anyway. Or Arizona was like not very strict on their restrictions, so people could get married. So during that time though, I was like, okay, well, I have to figure out another way to make money. Like, I can't just have my nanny income. So I expanded. I did Mother's Day gifts, I did welcome mats, I did acrylic calendars, just like anything that I could do to kind of still sell things that would support my business. And that was really cool because it showed me that I could pivot if I needed to. But by the time September came around, I was getting so busy, I had to quit my nanny job. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to like get through this fall without quitting my nanny job. So September 17th of 2020, I quit my nanny job and I went full-time etchings, which was so scary because it felt like a safety net. But up until that point, I had just networked with so many people because my expertise is not super common. A lot of people would refer me to their like couples or their venues, and I would just like, I started working with so many couples, and their venues would get to know me, and then they would follow me on Instagram, and I just made so many connections, which I believe is so key. I've had about 10 solid planners that I do consistent work with. And so I believe that them feeding me their couples has been really helpful too, besides just my brides and grooms telling their families about me. So that all happened. I have about like 3,000 followers probably this, September of 2020 when I go full time, but it's still like I had enough things booked. I had enough income looking forward. Like I knew that the amount I was making would be totally fine. I wouldn't need a nanny. So it all evened out. September, like end of September, October of 2020, I started creating Instagram Reels. And if you're not familiar with those, they're basically like TikToks on Instagram, and a few of them went viral. Or like I post and it would go viral, get like 300,000 views or more, and people would start following me and they noticed me, and so I'm climbing. I hit like 10K followers in like November, which was crazy because that was like almost triple of what I had. And I literally, it's all to Reels. Like it's because it's how people discovered me, but I do really believe that they wouldn't have stuck around if they didn't see something they needed. So that was really cool too, because I started gaining a lot of out-of-state orders because everyone else was just like discovering me. I'm like, oh my goodness, this fall is gonna be crazy. Like I'm full time, but it's so good. And then everyone's postponing their weddings too. So we're going. I sell about 500 plus Christmas ornaments that year. January, like I'm working so much, like 60 plus hours a week, like, which is what I do a lot because that's just what you have to do for lettering stuff, but and growing your own business and being an entrepreneur. But it was really cool because I just like kept growing and getting my name out there, making connections and creating for these wonderful couples. So the beginning of 2021, which was about 6 to 8 months ago, had a crazy spring, my biggest season yet. Just worked with so many couples and so many planners and so many venues. It was so good. May comes around, I thought it would slow down, but it didn't slow down like I thought it would. COVID is still like ebbing and flowing, but nothing ever stopped like it did last March. So July was kind of a little bit slower, not crazy. I kind of thought it would be way more of a lull in the summer. But in Arizona, so I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and the wedding season is really like September all the way until like May. So the only months we're like not having weddings are June, July, and August. And they're like, and even if they are, they're like up north and where it's cooler weather, but it's not nearly as many as like October and April have. So I was like, oh, summer's gonna slow down. Well, it didn't, because I started shipping out of state, because all those people that found me through Reels are now wedding signs, and they're all getting married in the summer, because summer is wedding season for a lot of other states. So I shipped a lot this summer. I'm literally the beginning of this year, in the middle of this year, I'm looking forward to this fall, which is like, so now it's September, October, November, December. I am fully booked. I have like over 10 plus weddings booked every single weekend, which was my cutoff, but now I'm worried it's a lot. If you go back and look through my Instagram, you'll see that like my style changed over time, and I think that helped to appeal to a lot of people too. And that was just gradual. That was just with a lot of practice. As I learned things, it just like got better and better. So I think that with the combination of connections and marketing myself and super crazy on social media. I don't mean like crazy, but like crazy active on social media, that all like very much shaped my business to be where it is today. I'm so thankful because there's nothing I'd rather be doing than like working my butt off doing all this, and the flexibility and the fun, and it's just like working from home and just creating out of my house and so many like possibilities, and it's just like a dream come true. So the reason I'm filming today is September 16th. Tomorrow is my 1 year full-time anniversary. So I'm so excited for that. But I just thought that this would be such a fun time to talk about my journey and how far I've come, and just kind of explain some tips I have as well too. So I hope you guys enjoyed my story, and if you have any questions, please comment below or go find me on Instagram at Etchings by Emma. You can like this video and subscribe so that I can create more, although it might be next summer before I can do another video. But I am always posting content on Instagram, so go follow my stories, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.